There. Hi, my name's Ethan. You may know me from being in videos before. I decided to do a video off the cuff, something that I don't typically do. I just felt really, what's the word I'm looking for? I felt compelled to talk about some things that are, I don't know, I feel like I need to, I feel compelled to share part of my story of my life, what I've been through the last couple years, because I feel like somebody needs to hear it. Maybe one person, maybe several, I don't know. But I've had a lot of change in my life the last several years since the pandemic, I would say. And I wonder if there's other people out there like me that would maybe feel the same. Maybe their lives have changed a lot since then. It seems that way. Our very way of life has changed since that whole experience. So this is kind of my abridged story right here. In 2020, we had the pandemic. In 2021, a lot had changed, and there was a period in my life where I went and I experienced a lot of loss. I had my father passed away, my marriage dissolved, and I had my uncle tell me that he was terminally ill with cancer, all within a very brief period of time. It was so much so that I can't help but feel now in hindsight that it was, in my opinion, and the way that I feel about it personally, is it was a spiritual awakening. And I call it that because it shook me to my core. It broke down everything that I thought I knew about myself, and it really had me asking different questions. And I feel like it was the start of me rebuilding and reshaping myself, because I was at the brink of suicide. I was so hurt. I was so devastated. I didn't know what to do with myself, that I was very lost. But there was something in me, something within me that just kept me going. And I don't know how to explain that part, but I just kept going. Throughout that year, I went through a lot of change, a lot of challenges between what I was doing, where I was going, all that stuff. I really was very lost that year. If I go to 2022, the next year, I had a hernia surgery. So I was medically, I was down. I was still struggling. I was still very hurt that next year. And then later in that same year, I had what I feel as though was carbon monoxide poisoning. And I think that this is something that aided, which is weird to say, but it aided in my development spiritually, because what it did is it kind of like made me sick, and it kind of checked me a little bit. And I talked about this briefly in another video. When I got to that part where I felt like I was gassed, I had a broken exhaust manifold in my car, and I was doing Uber. And I was driving around all over the place. And I was just basically just slowly gassing myself out. And it was just ridiculous. It was a ridiculous thing. I had no idea what I was doing. I was in and out of the hospital into ER visits because I had vertigo. I was spinning. I was ill all the time. And I didn't realize it could have been anything like that, like gas. Until finally, I took my car in to get it looked at, and they said, "You should not be driving this car. It's very bad. You should not be in this car." And I was like, oh shit, now I kind of recognize it. Last year, in 2023, I had a lot of change because I finally moved out. I was with my current partner, who I've established a great relationship with. And it was another year of a lot of growth between her and I, and myself between my jobs. I was seeking a lot of truth and understanding. I've always been reading and trying to absorb and understand the world around me through reading and books and whatnot, YouTube videos. At this point, I felt a little bit more put together, a little more solid, but I still had a long way to go. I still have a long way to go. It's never ending. This year has been the most impactful because earlier at the beginning of this year, I had a what I would definitely call an awakening to a great degree. And what happened was I was at home by myself, experiencing just a good day off from work, and I had a period in time where I was imbibing in a little cannabis. I was drinking my coffee. I was listening to some very nice Indian flute music because I like that kind of ambiance. And something about that, all of that, the frequencies and the level of consciousness that I was at, I walked to the front door and the sun hit me. And when the sun hit me, I felt my whole body washed over and bathed in light. And it's an experience I can't describe other than that. I felt as though I had left reality and I was in the presence of something much greater. Something that a lot of people I've heard describe through transcendental experiences, through maybe psilocybin, through, DMT, things like that, where I felt like I was experiencing something forever, but it was only minutes. It felt like the most amazing thing I've ever experienced. I wept. I felt so good. I was shaking. I was shivering as if some electricity had flown through my body, I guess, for lack of a better term. Again, I use these words loosely. I don't know how to actually describe what I experienced. The words are not there. The words do not exist in this reality. I'm sorry. I can't truly tell you what it was that happened. Now, this last year has been kind of more of like that. I've been really working towards my psychology. I want to major in psychology. I'd like to be a clinical psychologist. I'm working on being a counselor. I feel as though that this is really my bread and butter and that this is what I was here to do. I want to help. I want to help others. I want to be service to others. I'm here to learn so that I can assist my fellow human being. And because of all of these trials and tribulations that I've experienced over the last 4 years, it's helped cultivate me into a person that can deliver these types of things. Now, my exercise and my trainings aren't complete. I have, quote unquote, I have no credentials because I haven't completed any sort of anything through school. However, this is my passion, and I love having these conversations, the deep, meaningful, thought-provoking conversations. I've felt this way since I was a child. I just never had the words to put into it like I do now. I can articulate what it is that I mean, what I'm getting at, and I want to talk to other people, and I want to understand this reality and experience it in a different way. So, that's probably the reason that I felt compelled to deliver this. I'm going to put it on the internet, and one or two maybe people will watch it, and that'll be great. And I'm just here to start the conversation. I feel like there's a lot of change happening. I'm concerned about the narrative of the world right now between social media and what's happening in the country right now, even all over the world. We need to be aware and unify and bring our intentions and our feelings together and have conversations to help get through these turbulent times. peaceful demonstrations, understanding and compassion. And the bottom line is we need, as much of a fucking hippie as it sounds like I'm gonna be, it's all about love, baby. Let's fucking learn to understand and talk to each other a little bit better.